And here is my audience. Yay.
Are we supposed to smile?
You're doing great.
I totally did.
Quiet on set.
Alright, I don't know how many of you know about what's been going on in Syria, but there's been a very serious war happening for the past 2 years. And just recently, the war in Syria has reached a new peak in devastation. 1 million people have now been accounted for as refugees from the country. That is only the people recorded. They are estimating hundreds, perhaps thousands more that have not yet claimed refugee status within the surrounding countries of Syria. The United Nations is providing as much as they can in humanitarian aid, but as the number of refugees increases, they are running out of resources. There are numerous non-profit organizations taking donations right now to help with the needs of our Syrian brothers and sisters. I have been following this story personally for some time now, and I am, just like you, a fellow human being who can do my part in making people aware of the situation in Syria, and I desire an urgency, to create an urgency to help in this effort. The war in Syria was caused by people wanting to take justice into their own hands, and the result has been the complete destruction of an entire country and people, and it can only continue to get worse unless the people humble themselves and submit themselves before God. And until the end of this war comes, we must do everything that we can to help the innocent that were affected by it. Within our textbook written by Donald Albin, he tells us that when we give a speech, we need to have a redemptive purpose in it. And I'll tell you what that purpose is. It is to bring God back into the picture. This all started because people wanted to take justice in their own hands. They did not wait upon God. And God is against such an unjust war that was started by this rebellion. He is against the killing of innocent people. He is against this tragedy. And we need to bring God back into the picture and not only discuss how much God despises what is happening in Syria, but how much he despises what is happening with the lack of concern going on within our own communities. As I said, this all started because people decided to take justice into their own hands. In Romans 13, 1 through 3, God commands us to submit to authorities. And within that same passage, he also tells us that government is supposed to be the one fighting the evildoers. So, what happens when the government is the evildoers? This is what started the revolt in the first place. This is the people in Syria decided that the government was not doing their job, so they decided to start a revolution and take justice into their own hands. Which God is against this. God is against this rebellion and the unjust war that has started from this rebellion, from them wanting to stop the evil themselves, which are from the governing authorities above them. God himself called war on people that were against his people. He is not against war in general. He is against unjust war. He despises unjust killing. In Genesis 9 verses 5 through 6 it says, "And for your lifeblood I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal, and from each human being too. I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being. Whoever sheds human blood, by humans shall their blood be shed, for in the image of God has God made mankind." On top of this bloodshed, God is also against rebellion. As I said before, in Proverbs 17:11, he says, "An evil man seeks only rebellion, and a cruel messenger will be sent against him." Think about that verse for a second. God doesn't just say that rebellion is bad. He doesn't pass it off as just something that we shouldn't do. God specifically uses the word evil against rebellion. And like I said, the rebellion has led to killing, and God values human life. Think about how intricate he created us. He created the human species. He took the time specifically to create Adam and Eve special, set apart. They have dominion over the earth and everything that he created in it. So, that being said, God cares about human life, so we should also deeply care about human life just as much as he does. As I said before, according to the Huffington Post, Syria has hit 1 million refugees, and again, that is only refugees that have been accounted for. The UN was looking for about $1 billion for aiding Syrian refugees in neighboring countries, and that was pledged at the Kuwait Donor Conference in January. However, only about $200 million has come through. A member of the board of the UN was saying that they're getting desperate, and adding that the agency is able to provide Syrians fleeing violence with a bare minimum: a tent, a blanket, a sleeping mat, 2,000 calories of food, and 20 liters a day. I want you to just think about that list for a second. We're going to break it down in the eyes of an American. A tent, we use those for fun. A blanket. I have with me here this whole stack of blankets, and this is just a few of the blankets that I have in my closet. I have, oh goodness, I can't even count how many blankets that we have in this house alone, and they barely go unused. And then on top of that, they are being provided with a sleeping mat. I sleep on a very comfortable mattress, and they also are only being given 2,000 calories a day. In America, that is like the minimum of food that you want to eat during a day. Like, Americans strive to not eat more than that, which is an insane thought to me. And also, the last thing on the list, 20 liters of water a day. You probably use that amount of water just to take a shower at the end of the day. So, we have clearly so much to offer here. You know, just the resources that we have and how we're wasting them, when we could be using them to help others that are on a different side of the country, but yet we don't think about them during the day. Within our very own community here in Lynchburg, we have an organization. It's called World Help. And it was started by a Liberty grad student. He was the very first graduate of Liberty. But his organization right now is putting forward the effort to aid in donating supplies specifically to the refugees in Jordan, and also targeting specifically families that have children. And these are people that are on the outside of the camps, and they have no other means of survival. They are providing them with life-saving necessities like food, medical supplies, hygiene items, blankets, and more, according to their website. And you can go online, you can donate your money, and World Help isn't the only organization to do it. There are so many organizations putting forward that effort. There's SaveTheChildren.org and RI.org and irusa.org/Syria Relief and UNICEFUSA.org. Like I said, so many websites that you can go to and donate money towards this cause. But most importantly, above your time, above your money, is you can put forth the effort and pray. You can pray for the people of Syria. You can pray for their government. You can pray for all of the refugees that have been forced out of their homes. And you can pray for the help that they need. Pray to God to help them, you know, end this war and get the provisions that they need. I know I'm running out of time here, so I'll just sum up, but in short, this war is a tragedy both in God's eyes and it should be in our eyes as well. People were not meant to take justice into their own hands, and now many people have suffered, and in order to make up for the sins of others, we must attempt to help those who have suffered from this rebellion. We have it within our power to be a blessing in such a dark time. So now I must stress that it is the time to act. Men have taken justice into their own hands against God's will, and we must seek to help in any way that we can. So I really hope that you remember all that you have learned from this, everything that I've told you. I hope this speech has moved you to take action. I have given you an idea of something outside of your world, something that is going on a completely different part of the country. And so now I've provided you with the resources to go to. So go ahead and get on those websites, pray, do whatever that you can to help your fellow man.